The Senate spending all day and night in a marathon voting session on President Trump's sweeping domestic agenda bill, the Vote-A-Rama as it's called. It's still ongoing, by the way, this morning, promising and providing an opportunity for Republicans to make adjustments to the package and for Democrats to put the GOP on notice about certain aspects of that bill that they say are unpopular with voters. David Dulio, the director of the Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science professor at Oakland University, joining us this morning. Hi, Dave. Glad you could join us.
Thanks for having me, Marie.
So are you watching all that's transpiring on Capitol Hill this morning? Because it's bleary-eyed.
It certainly is. There's a lot of it. To watch it all, you'd have to have stayed up all night and really been a glutton for punishment.
What sticks out in your mind about because again, this is the Democrats' opportunity to say, look, this is what we really don't like about this bill. And those are going to become issues in midterms for sure. So what sticks out in your mind about how this is unfolding and what unfolded last night, overnight?
So I would answer that a couple different ways. Number one is the difficulty that Republicans are having in getting this over the finish line. This from the day that President Trump was sworn in for his second term, heck, even before in the messaging that was coming out of the transition, this is what they have been pointing to as a way to really implement some of the policies that the president campaigned on and had promised. And, it's been exceedingly difficult, not only in the Senate, but it passed barely in the House over some Republican defectors. And we're seeing that continue. And that is related to the second component, which is, those difficulties are in large part because of, potential cuts to popular programs, right? Like SNAP and Medicare. And, I think that while Republicans had thought that this was maybe going to be easy, right? It's another example of the devil's in the details. And, it's proving exceedingly difficult.
But again, the reason it is difficult is because then they're going to have to go home and sell this to their constituents. And that's where the thorny things kind of come in.
No doubt about it, right? And the elements, there are elements of this bill that are popular. There are elements of this bill that are unpopular. And those, I think, are the ones that are arguably rightly so getting the majority of the attention as, this bill maybe inches closer to a final vote.
We keep hearing over and over about one of the things that's in this bill is these work requirements for people who are on Medicaid. But the argument is from a lot of Democrats, there are already work requirements built into the system. So is that one of the most popular things, do you think, in the bill?
Oh gosh, I think, that's a fabulous question. I have no idea how to answer that one. I'll be honest with you, just because, it depends on, what the latest proposal is, right? It's really a moving target and will be until the Senate is, if they're able to get to a final vote on a measure.
Yeah. Elon Musk, who, has this now on again, off again relationship with the president. I don't remember the complete terminology, but he called the bill porky, which I thought was kind of funny. He called the bill porky on social media yesterday. So, for the right side, the hard right side of the wing of the party, there's still too many things in here that are causing issues.
Well, and I think that a lot of that is coming out of the opinion that, this was the opportunity they saw to really make some deep cuts to the federal budget. And, this is not the first time that Republicans or deficit hawks, maybe even from both parties have attempted to slash government spending. And this is a familiar outcome. It's very, very difficult to cut what's already been established, because it's been established, at least in some part, because it was a popular idea, or it has become popular over time. So, Musk is a guy who really was in the administration temporarily, but in the administration with a job to cut. And, that was the entire purpose of Doge. Mm-hmm. And now when push comes to shove, it's proving, as we said, right, very, very difficult to get those cuts into law.
Let's go back to what you started out by saying, that, this has been a difficult slog for Republicans. And, they thought a lot of these ideas were popular, but it turned out that it's not. They have a majority. This should have been, I want to say no-brainer, but maybe that's making it too simple. But the fact is, what is that really telling us about this president and this president's policies?
That it's more of the same, right? I honestly, I think that we're experiencing what other Republican presidents have had to deal with, right? I mean, and even Democratic presidents. There's a great quote from Barack Obama, talking about the need to cut waste, fraud, and abuse, and even touch popular programs. And he made the comment that that's when it gets hard, and this is that playing out in real time, right? The idea of cutting government spending and maybe reining in the federal government in general is a popular idea, right? To have us not run a deficit every year. But the devil's in the details. And when you start to have to cut popular programs, that's where it gets tough. It becomes unpopular.
Yeah, and quickly too. Do you think the president will get his wish and have this on his desk by Friday?
I think something will. Well, actually, I'm going to say no to that, because I think the Senate will pass something. But as you know, Marie, right? Just because the Senate passes it, it's going to be in a wildly different format than what the House has passed. They're going to have to find a way to reconcile those differences, and I think that's going to take longer than July 4th. Yeah,
I think so too. I don't see this as coming together by the end of the week, because that's basically what we're looking for there. Dave, overall, will the president come out, do you think, looking good on this one or not? Last question here.
I think something will get signed into law, and President Trump is very good at turning the narrative to fit his his perspective, and I think he'll claim credit for whatever gets passed, but it's not going to be what he wanted at the start.
Excellent. Dave Dulio, Director of the Center for Civic Engagement and Political Science, Professor at Oakland University. Always a pleasure. Always great insight. Thanks, Dave. Have a great afternoon.